This video is made possible by Francisco Herrera Jr. at the Honda Superstore of Joliet. Francisco is a longtime car enthusiast who is dedicated to finding the perfect vehicle for you. Email him at the address on the screen or contact him with his information found in the description below.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2020 Honda HRV. Up front is a 1.8 liter inline 4, and down below is a CVT. Now I am super excited to be driving the HRV for two main reasons. First of all, I've never actually driven an HRV, and so I'm excited to do so. But the second reason, the more important reason, is that I actually recently drove the Toyota CHR, which is the direct competitor to the HRV. And so I'll be comparing those two vehicles throughout the course of the video. And I will leave that CHR video linked at the end if you're interested to see what that one is all about. Now, before we get on to the rest of the video, if you guys are interested in selling your car, please click the link in the description below. Cashforcars.com will buy your car with a salvage title, good title, running, non-running, whatever it is. Please go support the channel by clicking the link in the description below. You can get a fast and easy quote for free, and they will pick up your vehicle in less than 24 hours. Let's get back to that 1.8 liter inline 4. It doesn't make a whole lot of horsepower. I'll still put it up on the screen. Nothing too crazy. It is naturally aspirated, but I will put the miles per gallon up on the screen because that is something you'll definitely be more interested in with the HRV. Now, like I said, paired to it is a CVT. This means continuously variable transmission, and it's fine. You know, I'm not a big fan of CVTs, but in applications like this, it doesn't really matter. And the CHR had a CVT as well, so it's sort of par for the course at this point. The last thing about the drivetrain with the HRV is that this is the Sport and it is all-wheel drive. Now, you can still find an HRV in front-wheel drive, but a lot of them are actually all-wheel drive. And this is absolutely huge. Far and away, this is why I prefer the HRV over the CHR. The CHR does not come with all-wheel drive offered. You cannot get all-wheel drive in the Toyota CHR, and that is absolutely criminally wrong. The HRV comes with all-wheel drive. This is the all-wheel drive version, and that is amazing. That is a huge selling point to me. If I'm going to buy an SUV like this, as opposed to a Civic, as opposed to a Fit, I want that all-wheel drive. That should be a distinguishing factor between the sedan or hatchback versus a SUV or CUV, whatever you want to call this sort of style vehicle. All-wheel drive is an absolute must for me, and you can get that on the HRV, and that can't be said about its competition. So I'm very, very happy to see that. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have three main gauges. On the left is my tachometer, in the center is my speedometer, and on the right, I have actually an MPG gauge up at the top, fuel down at the bottom, and then some information in the center. Now, what's interesting about the center speedometer is that there's actually a green light that goes around the outside edge. And as you start getting on the gas and driving less efficiently, the actual gauge dims how green it is to the point where when you're flooring it, it's gray. But when you let off the gas again, it fades back into green to sort of get you to drive more economically. This is super gimmicky. I've never seen this in a car before, and I actually kind of like it. However, I could see this getting annoying at nighttime. However, as far as I'm concerned, I don't believe you can actually change it. On the steering wheel on the left, I have my source button, some page scrollers, and phone options at the bottom left. And then on the right, I just have my cruise control options. The HRV does not have adaptive cruise, which is found in the Civic, which is found in the Accord, which is found in most other Honda products. This actually does not get adaptive cruise, and I wish I could have gotten that. However, it's not an absolute deal breaker, especially at the price. However, if it doesn't become standard in the next couple of years on the HRV, then I'll start to have an issue. On the back of the steering wheel, I do have paddle shifters, which is a nice feature. And then to the left of me, I have my econ button, traction control, and my tire monitoring system. On the door, I have my power windows, power locks, and power mirrors. And moving into the center, I do have a nice little infotainment screen. Now, this is the older style infotainment system that Honda uses. This can be found on the Civic, dating at least back to 2015. And so it is sort of an older style infotainment system. Is it bad? No, not by any means. I don't really have any cool or interesting, fun or unique apps in here. Nothing too crazy, although I do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is absolutely great and something that can't be said about older HRVs.
All right, so talking about the backup camera of the HRV, like all other Hondas, they offer you 3 great views. So this is more of a wide angle view. You can see a lot more on the sides here. Try to get a good shot of that. And then this is a more narrow view. So you could choose between those two. And then you actually have a top-down view as well, so you can really figure out your spacing, your lines, things like that. Really, really helpful, really great features here. Pretty much all Hondas do this. I don't have any parking sensors, so that information is not on screen, but very nice backup camera.
Down below the center screen, I do have climate controls. No dual zone here in the HRV. However, the outside knobs don't feel very good. It almost feels like they're stuck or like gunked up. It doesn't feel like they're like properly lubricated, which is weird. But the center one, the center dial for the fan speed feels great. Clicks for each turn, feels really good. Gives me a lot of tactile feedback, and I really like that. Down below that, I have my AC button, recirculating, and rear defrost. And then in the center console, I just have the shifter itself, which looks nice. And then I have the power parking brake and brake hold. Again, brake hold, a great feature. When you come to a stop, you're still in drive. Hit the brake a little extra hard and the car will hold you there. Very nice. Down below the center console, there's actually sort of the secondary console. This is where you'll find your USB in as well as a 12-volt outlet, which is pretty nice. But I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the cup holder. The cup holder is very unique and something that I haven't really seen in a car before. It gives you a lot of customization. So you're looking at the cup holder now. It looks kind of like a to-go dish from Chipotle. But on these sides, there are these little flip-out blocks that will actually help sort of break up that big cup holder. So if you have smaller items, they won't roll around. This is good for like water bottles or things like that. But then also, if you look at the floor of the cup holder, you can actually press it and it'll actually go down further to accommodate larger bottles. This is really genius. Tons of customization in the cup holders, and I've never seen something quite like it on a car. Now, the seats are decently comfortable. They are cloth. The Sport is a lower trim level, so nothing really to write home about with the seats. They are manual. They are not power. They are not heated or anything of the sort. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2020 Honda HRV, and honestly, not bad back here. I would say probably on par with the Honda Civic or something of the sort. My knees actually aren't hitting the front seat inherently. Headroom is actually pretty good. These headrests kind of get a little annoying. They look like droids from Star Wars, and they're kind of positioned weird, and I moved it so it's a little bit better, but I'm not a big fan of it. I don't get a center console or anything like that. I do have a 12-volt outlet down below and a single cup holder, so the people in the back can fight over that. But honestly, I'm fine back here, which I was really surprised about. Normally vehicles in this segment, the Mazda CX-3 and the Toyota CHR, the CX-3 is terrible backseat. The CHR is okay, and this is okay as well. The back seats in here actually aren't super cramped, and I like that a lot. Really surprising back here. I wasn't expecting a whole lot, and so my expectations have been beaten. And so this back seat gets a double thumbs up from me, given the price, given the size, things like that. So this is the back of the HRV, and actually pretty sizable. I like how it has these covers for the rear struts, but really it's actually not bad. These two seats do go down, so you can fold those down. It's actually nice and actually sort of low loading, but still high up. It's a very good height. Comes up to about a little bit above my knees. Super easy to load things into the back here. I don't really have any amenities. I would have liked to have seen a 12-volt outlet. However, not the biggest deal. I do get a spare tire, which is very nice. And overall, the back space here, the cargo space, really good, especially for the size of vehicle. Oh, and no power tailgate, something I would have liked to have seen, but not the end of the world. Now we gotta talk about the looks. I actually really think that the HRV is a handsome looking SUV. I think it looks good. I think it's styled really well. I think it's proportioned very well. And it reminds me of older CRVs. You know, the CRV has gotten to be a decent size vehicle. This brings me back to the original, the first gens that came with the tables in the back. Sort of reminds me of that. And so let's get out my final thoughts on the HRV. Well, I was very excited to drive this because this is so much better than the Toyota CHR in my opinion. First of all, I think it looks infinitely better. I think it looks amazingly, amazingly better than the CHR. The HRV, I think, is a really good looking vehicle. But the second reason, and the more important reason, is the fact that this comes with all-wheel drive where the CHR does not. Here in the Midwest, I'll show some video here, we're expecting weather like this any day now. And for a portion of the year, this is what we get. Day after day after day, it's freezing, it gets below zero here, things like that. I prefer my vehicles to have all-wheel drive if they're going to be a daily driver. And that's why I purchased my Mazda 3 hatchback, because you could get a hatchback in all-wheel drive. The fact that the CHR does not come with all-wheel drive, I think is quite silly. Why upgrade to something like this? Why get the extra ride height when you can't really do much with it? Now with the added all-wheel drive and the ride height and the looks, I think there's definitely a reason to get the HRV instead of a Fit. If the HRV didn't come with all-wheel drive, I would say just get a Honda Fit and save your money. But that's not the case here. I think the HRV actually really truly does fill a unique void in the market. I just got passed by another HRV, by the way. This to me is worthwhile. This to me is worth it. So if you want an SUV or CUV, whatever this segment is this month, if you want a vehicle this size, look at the HRV. Maybe look at a CX-3. I wasn't a big fan of it. Honestly, I think the HRV is the best vehicle in this segment. Compact SUVs, compact utility vehicles, I think the HRV really truly is the best. It's just the best. It is. I don't want to sound like I'm beating a drum here, but that all-wheel drive really is a huge, huge game changer to me and very, very important. That's what I have to say about the HRV, and that's why this is the best in its class. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Francisco from the Honda Superstore of Joliet. Francisco is a car enthusiast himself, so he will find the right car for you. He loves the product, and he is ready to serve you and get you into the right vehicle. His information is up on the screen as well as linked in the description below. Please go give him your business, because when you do, you're helping out the channel, and I super appreciate that. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.